Hey guys, it's Libby, and first off, I just want to say that it is hot and humid as you know what, so if I look sweaty, I am, and I'm sorry. But secondly, there is some background noise. As you probably noticed, it is a creek. It's like 30-40 feet down, but it's still kind of loud. I think it's not too loud though, but if it is a little bit distracting, I'm sorry. Yeah, I wanted to film in a beautiful place like this, and that is just the price that pays, along with bugs that I may like occasionally do that in the middle of my video. It's fine. But moving on, in my last Q&A, I asked you guys if you wanted to hear some of my poetry, and very many of you guys did. So I'm here today to read you some of my poetry. Both semesters last year I took a poetry workshop, so I had the opportunity to write a bunch of poems and have it revised by my professor as well as my peers. So it was really awesome. I got to really work on some of my pieces and I thought that was really cool. So these are somewhat revised pieces, but if you have any constructive criticism you'd like to give me, go right ahead. I am totally open to that. Also, just note that I've only shared this with my poetry class and I am now about to read it to thousands of people or whatever, so I'm a little bit scared. But that's okay. All of these poems are based off of my experiences, my feelings, and just like random inspirations, or maybe like a mix of these things. So please be respectful. It is my creative work, don't be mean. Yeah. I'm just going to be reading you my portfolio from last semester, which is about 5 poems long or something like that. Each poem is short, don't worry, I'll try not to bore you too much. By the way, I'm going to leave a link in the description where you can go and read these written out on a page, because I did some interesting formatting things. Well, I think they're kind of interesting, but I did some things that are cool to look at on a page. So I want you guys to be able to see them if you're interested in poetry. Maybe you want to take a look at it, whatever. Yeah, so okay. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy it, and yep, let's get started. Also, these are not memorized, so I'm just reading them from my phone. I know that's not the best performance or whatever, sorry, but yeah. Okay, here's the first one. You know, sometimes I truly wish I would get hit by a ship, so I could stop feeling this way when you pull me in and push me away. I swear the tides have never made me this seasick before, but now I find myself kneeling on cold tiled floor in front of my toilet, just trying to get back some bit of control, as if that even exists when you're stranded out at sea. It seems I've lost my paddles and my life vest is nowhere to be seen, which means you are in control. I assume you are Poseidon. I try to anticipate your waves and I behave myself the best I can as an attempt to keep from rocking the boat, but I cannot prevent the next tsunami. Even then though, I'll scream my apologies for the natural disaster I could not help. I'll wrap kelp around my throat as a collar to show you that I am forever miserably enslaved to your great, deep, dark, blue ocean. I do not mean you need to pity me, I simply haven't found my sea legs yet, but I bet I will in no time. And if I can't seem to find them, I'll abandon this boat, see if I can float on my back forever, tethered to nothing. And if I happen to turn over so that my face meets the fishes and my lungs fill with salty fluids, that would be just fine. Number 1, okay. Here's the second one. Trying to tell the one I loved that I am lonely is like peeling back every layer of skin and cracking 4 hollow ivory ribs to show off the gaping wound where a heart should beat, only to see a look of dumbfounded confusion cross his face that indicates he hasn't the slightest clue what I'm attempting to demonstrate. The response I receive is, I hate metaphors, and while I know he wants me to be more clear, I also know he does not hear me when I say, baby, I am lonely. And I think that is where the D comes from after love, up above in line 1, because his current lack of understanding is sanding away at my soul, and soon there will be nothing left. First, I want to throw in a trigger warning before this next poem because it is eating disorder related, and if that's going to upset you, please don't watch it, obviously. I'm going to put in the times in the description of when each poem begins, so if you just want to like go to the time of the next poem, just like skip over this one, totally fine, do that, yeah. Or maybe it was me. Ed told me my stomach is a rolling hill outside the Smokies. My thighs the trunks of 100-year-old pines, my hips a river's mouth, wide. His words so cold, or maybe they were mine. I shivered, trembled like a leaf, and tears washed down my cheeks, showing him that those facts don't please me. So he sent me. Anna said that the fix is very easy. Cut out greasy food, and then all of it. Consume as little as you can, and soon your belly will be as flat as the sands of a warm beach at low tide. You won't have to hide your legs or arms or anything. I followed her remedy, or maybe it was mine. And she was right. My skin clung tighter to my bones, but sometimes I couldn't stand the hunger pangs that racked my gut and melted my muscles. That's when Anna brought. Mia was good at fixing my fuck-ups. When I ate incorrectly, she shoved her fingers down my throat, or maybe they were mine. She'd find the food I didn't need and pull it out through my mouth. She refused to let me get fat. Your ribs are meant to be seen, your thighs must have a gap. And she made sure a fucking cookie was not going to get in the way of that. Pizza, Gatorade, Newports. It was way too early for this, but we were to spend the whole day together and it was going to be beautiful. You invited me over at 7 a.m. The sun itself was just waking up, extending his rays in a good morning stretch, catching my unprepared eyes, blinded. At 7:36, you, the derelict, picked me up for the first time in 9 months of being together, and I, the anorexic, made the plan to eat with you for the first time in 9 months of being together. We were really making progress, just a couple steps closer to normal couple. At 11:48, you drove us to Walgreens to buy a frozen pizza, and because you are poor, I gladly paid. With my debit card, you went in without me because I didn't feel like walking. Our beautiful, normal couple day concluded that evening, but we kept up that routine, pizza, Gatorade, Newports, for a few consecutive days. I always stayed in the car and sent you in with my card. But then I noticed my bank account was overdrawn. $160 gone within 3 days of buying pizza, Gatorade, Newports. You see, I think it's funny you promised me you'd quit smoking soon, because as it turns out, you were stealing my money to buy dope, all the while I thought you were sober. Now, Zach, I think it's more important you quit shooting smack before you quit smoking cigarettes. Hi, sorry.
Okay.
You can come right through. It's fine.
You ready to go, baby?
Semper Fidelis. The way rose petals layer, spiraling, surrounding each other in a hug, holding one another up, it reminds me of the feeling I get when the lovely words of your handwritten letters travel thousands of miles just to wrap themselves around my heart and squeeze tight, almost as if trying to make it unbloom back into a bud. By that, you are trying to keep me safe, I know, but the way it makes me imagine your arms cradling me like an expensive bouquet inspires me to swim to the Okinawa base so I can discover if your embrace could possibly meet my expectations, even halfway. See if your arms feel as soft as rose petals on my skin. I truly believe it would be a sin if I didn't see this through. And if I could look into your chest and peek between your ribs, I know your soul would whisper the same sentiment back to me. Don't get me wrong, I am afraid your flowers for me will wilt by the time December comes around. But I just can't remember the last breath I took that tasted this fresh. And that is all I'm going to read. So I hope that you guys liked it. And yeah, I don't know what else to say. I hope you liked it. If you want to give me constructive criticism, great ahead, I'd love that. But yep, so yep. Thank you for watching. Yep. Okay, bye.